Mega brew merger is on tap as the world's largest beer companies. The top two are set to get married. SABMiller finally, fifth time's a charm, accepted AB InBev's offer of $104.2 billion or $67.62 per share. The combined company would be worth some $245 billion, and it would control two-thirds of the U.S. beer market. Two-thirds, make it the largest in the world. What would get it? This merger past regulators, because is that too much control, some might think? Is this another attempt by AB InBev to squeeze out the growing craft brewing industry? Joining us now, first a man who was behind Anheuser-Busch's sports and media assets for 26 years and helped create the famed Clydesdales commercials, Tony Ponturo. And also, breaking news, standing by in the studio is Fox Business in-house beer expert, my floor director, Austin Lovell.
That's right.
We'll get to our FBN in-house beer expert in just a minute. But first to you, the real expert, Tony. This is quite a merger. You worked at Anheuser-Busch for that long. What do you think of this deal?
Well, it's mind-boggling, really, because Miller was the competition for 26 years. When I started in 1982, we both had about 22 market share. Mm-hmm. We grew it to almost 50. They sort of stayed the same. Now they're brothers, or will be brothers, so it's pretty amazing.
And we can talk about the beers themselves. AB InBev, of course, is Budweiser, Corona, Stella Artois, SABMiller is Pilsner, Foster's, all of those names like that. They have a few craft beers as well. We'll get to the craft beer issue in just a minute, but looking at the negatives here, because you know that the regulators might say 9. What do you think? Will it pass regulators?
Well, they're going to have to sell off some of the brands, some of the Miller brands and their Miller Coors U.S. sort of arrangement with Molson Coors. So they're going to have to do some selling off. You can't buy 70% market share.
Which parts will they have to sell off?
I think they're going to sell off the Miller Coors U.S. business. This is a play to Africa and to Asia. That's big growth areas that they don't have right now. They're going to get the Coca-Cola distribution in Africa. So that's the bigger play.
That's the bigger play. I'm going to reveal something that I have not revealed before. I've never had a full beer. I've had half a beer in my life. I don't like the taste. Therefore, we bring in the Fox Business in-house beer expert, my floor director, Austin Lovell. Which is your favorite beer?
Any craft IPA right now is delicious.
So delicious. You must be out of your mind because they say these two biggies are going to squeeze out the craft beer world.
It's all right. People are still drinking craft beers. Every bar you go into, there's craft beer in every single bar you go to.
What would you say to the regulators, Mr. Lovell?
I would say, don't take away my craft beer, please. Thank you. That's what
Spoken extremely eloquently, I might add. Tony, should craft beer companies, the small guys, be nervous? Now, we should mention that SABMiller owns a couple of them already. I think one name is Bee's Knees. There's a company called Fat Yak. That's so craft beer, those names. AB InBev has bought a few as well. The Golden Elysian, Golden Road, right?
And Goose Island and Red Hook Brewery.
Yeah, but then does that sully their craft beer edgy reputation?
Well, they keep that very quiet. You don't want the customer to understand that. But there's so much profit margin in craft beers that's not going to go away. And what they're doing is starting to buy the distribution system because that's another profit space that they don't currently have. They have about 20% ownership across the country, but it looks like they want to buy more.
And we know there are other names out there, the Heinekens of the world, and my personal favorite, Bartles and James. I know I can stomach the Mike's Hard Lemonade. That much I can do. But do we start to see more acquisition stuff there?
Consolidation in business, from a financial standpoint, is always good. Mm-hmm. They're going to reduce costs of scale, costs of goods, buying rice and aluminum and glass, etc., and marketing and sponsorships.
Yeah, don't get rid of the Clydesdales, right?
They shouldn't. There's always, once in a while, there's always a brand manager that thinks that the Clydesdales are old and antiquated, and then someone hits them over the head with a 2x4.
Well, as the granddaughter of a farrier who put the horseshoes, as we know, along with Lincoln Chafee and George Allen and everybody else, and Governor Patterson's grandfather, don't touch the Clydesdales. Austin, last question. I would have so pegged you as a PBR Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Give me a 30-pack of Pabst, sit down at the beach, and I'm sold. That's it. I'm good with it.
The eloquence is overwhelming. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks,
Austin Lovell, our in-house FBN beer expert, along with Tony Ponturo, the real expert in beer. Thank you so much.